Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Anita Stories. In this video I will show you 25 ways to make slime without glue and without borax. This is a compilation of the best slimes I've ever made. I wanted to make a video just with the best slimes I've ever made. So I cut all the parts so that you can see all the recipes quickly and all the results quickly. So you have a good compilation just in one video. So if you need any ideas or anything, you can just watch this video. Plus, there are various ASMR parts in this video. So if you just want to relax a bit, you can just put this video or put the sound of this video on the background and relax. So I really hope you like this video. You can save it and watch it as many times as you want. So I really hope you will like it and you will watch it until the end. And I really hope you will find some good ideas for slimes without glue and without borax. These are the best slimes that I've ever made. So thanks so much for watching. I really hope you like it. So what you'll need first is some clay or like Play-Doh. I don't know if you call it clay or Play-Doh. Let me know in the comments. I bought this one that has glitter in it, so it's so cool, the effect. Actually, it was very cheap, so if I find it on Amazon, I will put the link down below. So I know you're probably thinking, clay is completely different than slime. You can't really stretch it or poke it. Actually, you can do it, but it's very different from the slime. So don't worry, we are going to transform it. So to get started, you just need to pour some body lotion or like face lotion, hand lotion, whatever lotion you have in the clay. I'm doing it for two different colors of clay. Then I'm mixing them together. You don't need to mix two colors, sorry, of clay together, but I just wanted it to be bigger. Stretchy, you can poke it. Here I'm using the same brand of shampoo, but 3 different colors. And I'm using some food color. This is optional, you do need to use some food color, but I just want the color to be bright. And guess what color I'm going to pick? You need to put it in the freezer for around 5 minutes. So in the meantime, we are going to make another one. Just using one color of shampoo this time. And here, basically, I wanted to use the red food color, but I noticed that it was closed. And since it's so difficult to open these bottles, I decided to use the pink one that I have already opened. And I'm now adding the salt in the freezer as well for 5 minutes. So we are now making the last one. And this time we are going to try with the foam balls. So I did put a little bit of salt and 2 different colors of shampoo. So you can then add the foamy balls and mix it very well and then leave it in the freezer for 5 minutes as well. So this is the result for the foamy balls one. I think it's super cool and I love the sounds that it makes when you poke it. So this is the pink one. As it was still a little bit sticky, I decided to put it in the freezer for another 5 minutes. So we will see how it goes. And this is the green one. I actually love this one. It's so cool. The pink one, as you can see, I left it in the freezer for too long, so the consistency is kind of weird, but you can just keep on mixing it. The secret word of the day is crunchy slime. So if you watched the video until now, write down in the comments crunchy slime, but don't say that it's the secret word of the day to the others. And just follow my instructions carefully throughout the video because it's very easy to make mistakes when making slime without glue. So let's get started with the first slime. I'm using dish soap. I found this pink one in Lidl and it's so cute. And then I'm adding a little bit of salt. Actually, I added too much salt, so just be careful. If you're using a small container, just add a very small amount of salt. If you add too much salt, it's going to become liquid, so you need to be very careful with the salt. And then you can start mixing it. Now you need to put it in the freezer for 5 to 10 minutes. So for the second one, I'm using the Head and Shoulders shampoo. And then you need to add a little bit of salt, and I did add too much salt in this one. You're going to see the difference at the end of the video. So as the consistency of this shampoo was very liquid, I decided to add a little bit of body wash in gel. You can add anything you want that has a thicker consistency. So if your shampoo is very liquidy, you can add something else that has a thicker consistency. And then again, you have to put this in the freezer for 5 to 10 minutes. And then for the third one, I'm using a body wash in gel. You can use a shampoo or anything you want that is in gel. And then add a little bit of salt as well and put it in the freezer for 5 to 10 minutes. So this is the dish soap one. It was still liquid because I added too much salt, so I decided to add a little bit more of dish soap and then to put it on the freezer again for 5 minutes. And this is the Head and Shoulders one. So you can play with it while it's still in the container. However, it was still too liquidy to put it out of the container, so I decided to put it back in the freezer for 5 minutes. So this is the gel body wash one. I really like it. You can really play with it with your hands or in the container. So this is the dish soap one. As I said, I added a little bit more of dish soap because I did put too much salt. And then I put it in the freezer again for 5 minutes. And I really love it. This one is my favorite. It looks like a jiggly slime. The secret word of the day is jiggly slime. So if you've watched the video until now, just write in the comments the secret word of the day, but without saying that it's the secret word of the day. So this one was the Head and Shoulders shampoo. As you can see, you can play with it while it's still in the container. However, when you put it out of the container, it's still very liquid. How to make slime without glue and without borax, without contact lens solution, without face mask. So make sure to watch the video until the end and just to follow my instructions carefully, and I really hope you like it. So for the first one, I'm using some Head and Shoulders shampoo. You can use any shampoo that you have at home. Then I'm adding some food coloring. And I'm also adding some shaving cream to make it more fluffy. If you want, you can skip this part, or if you want, you can also use body lotion or hand lotion. And then I'm adding some cornstarch. You can also use corn flour or regular flour. And you can start mixing it with your hands. Don't worry, at the beginning it will look a little bit messy, but then it will come up together. And this is the final result for the first slime. I really love it. It's very soft and I love the color. So for the second slime, you can use some marshmallows. If you want, you can also use some gummy bears, or you can try with some candies that you have at home if they are soft. So I just put them in the microwave for 1 medium high. And then you can start mixing them, and as you can see, it really looks like glue right now. So I added a little bit of oil because otherwise it's too sticky. So you can now add a little bit of cornstarch or corn flour or whatever you have. So regular flour is fine. And this is the final result. It definitely looks like a fluffy slime. So for the last slime, I'm using some Model Magic clay. You can use the color that you want. I'm just taking a piece of it, and then I'm adding some body lotion. If you want, you can also add some hand lotion or shaving cream. The secret word of the day is fluffy slime. So if you've watched the video until now, just write in the comments fluffy slime without saying that it's the secret word of the day. You need to keep on mixing until the lotion is fully absorbed. One tablespoon of shampoo, possibly in gel or shower gel. Then some corn flour or cornstarch or regular flour. 2 tablespoons. Then you need to start mixing. Then you can add some oil and keep on mixing it. I just decided to add a little bit of good food color because I really don't like white slimes, so I always have to add a little bit of food color. Let me know in the comments what's your favorite slime color. You now need to keep on adding a little bit more of shower gel. Then you need to put it in the microwave for 20 seconds, medium temperature, and this is how it looks like after the microwave. And then in the freezer for 15 minutes. So I just put this one in the freezer, and in that we put in the microwave and freezer for 15 minutes is the one with corn flour or cornstarch. So this is how it looks like. It kind of looked like a slime was coming out of this, but it was still kind of sticky, so I decided to add a little bit more of corn flour or cornstarch. If you want, you can add regular flour. And then I sprayed just a little bit more of oil. And after mixing it for a while, I had this kind of slime. I think it was very good and it looked like a bubble gum kind of. It was really nice. So this is another recipe that works if you don't have any glue or borax. So make sure to watch the video until the end to see all the slimes. So this first recipe is by Juana Popstar. Thank you so much for the recipe. I love you too. So let's get started. I started with some body lotion and then I'm adding some toothpaste, not too much. Then you can start mixing them. And you can add some corn flour or cornstarch or regular flour. I just added 1 tablespoon of it. And then you have to start mixing them. If it's still too dry, you can add some body lotion. And then after mixing them with a tablespoon, you need to start mixing it with your hands. It's going to be messy at the beginning, as always, but this is the final result. I really like this slime. It's stretchy and soft, so I would totally suggest you to try this recipe. It works, and this slime is very nice. So thank you so much, Juana, for giving this recipe. And now let's go to the next recipe. So for the next recipe, thank you very much, Kyla the Contortionist. Wow! Thank you so much for this recipe. I'm going to try your recipe right now. So I started with some dish soap, and then I'm adding some corn flour. You can use cornstarch or regular flour. I just added 2 tablespoons, of corn flour. So you can start mixing them. If it's too dry, you can add some dish soap, just a small amount at a time. And then after mixing it with your hands as well, sorry, my hands were very dirty, then this is the final result. As you can see, it's very stretchy. I really like this slime. Thank you so much, Kyla, for suggesting this slime. It definitely works, and it's really nice and stretchy, and it's so much fun to play with. So thank you very much. So let's go to the next recipe. For the next one, thank you so much, Marshmallows Love Dolls 2. And so she's suggesting to use some dish soap or shampoo. I just use some shampoo and then some flour. As always, you can use regular flour or corn flour or cornstarch. Then I'm adding a little bit of baby oil. If you don't have baby oil, you can try with normal regular oil. And then start mixing them. If it's too liquid, you will need to keep on adding some flour, but just a small amount at a time. Don't forget to like this video if you'd like to see more slimes recipe, and of course leave a comment with your recipe if you want. And so this is the final result. I really love this slime. I think the oil made it very stretchy. It's very stretchy, and I really like the texture. It's very soft. So next recipes. These recipes were suggested in my Italian videos. That's why I'm not putting the comment up, and they were great, so I wanted to show them to you anyway. So I'm using some sunscreen. Then I'm adding some food color. It's optional, of course. Then you would need to add some flour. I'm adding 3 tablespoons of flour. Start mixing it with your tablespoon, and then after a while you will have to mix it with your hands, but first make sure that the slime is soft and not too hard and not too soft as well. If it's too soft, you need to keep on adding flour. If it's too hard, you need to keep on adding the sunscreen. And this is the result. I really love this one. It's one of my favorites because it's the stretchiest, and the texture is super cool because, as you can see, it really looks like a fluffy slime, more or less. So I really love this one. I would totally suggest you to try this one with your sunscreen. The secret word of the day is iceberg slime. So if you watched the video until now, just write down in the comments or iceberg slime without saying that is the secret word of the day. Next recipe. For this recipe, you need to use some shower gel. Then you need to add a little bit of hand soap and a little bit of salt. Then you can start mixing them. As you can see, it's already having a reaction. So you can now add some baby powder and keep on mixing it. Then you can put it in the freezer for 10 minutes. And this is the result. I loved this one as well because it looks like a jiggly slime, so I really hope you liked it. So next recipe. For this recipe I'm using some shower gel, but you can also use some shampoo or hand soap. And then I'm adding a little bit of body lotion and then some shaving cream, not too much. Then you can mix all of them together. Then you would need to add a little bit of Play-Doh or whatever modeling paste you have at home. So you have to mix this one until the Play-Doh is part of the mixture, so you will need to press it hard. Then you can add a little bit of baby powder. If you don't have baby powder, you can use a regular flour or corn flour or cornstarch, and then you can add corn flour or cornstarch, and then keep on mixing them. Add another 2 tablespoons of corn flour or cornstarch or regular flour. The secret word of the day is blue slime. If you watched the video until now, just write in the comments the secret word of the day without saying that it's the secret word of the day. So like the other one, after a while that you've mixed it with your tablespoon, you need to mix it with your hands, and as always at the beginning it will be a little bit messy, but don't worry, after a while it won't be sticky anymore. You just need to mix it for a while with your hands. If it's too sticky, just add a little bit more of corn flour or cornstarch or whatever you're using. And then this is the final result. I really love this one and I love the color. And it's really soft and stretchy because there's also Play-Doh in it, so you can really stretch it and play with it. And yeah, I really like it. Let me know in the comments if you like it too in the comments. So let's get started. For the first recipe, Emi998 suggested to try the blue tack, and she also says that she's 1/8 Italian. So hi Emi, thanks for your comment and for your recipe. So I'm just starting taking the blue tack, and I'm adding, instead of the lotion, I'm adding some toothpaste because I tried already with the lotion, but it was too soft. So you just need to add a little bit of toothpaste, and then you need to mix it with your hands slowly. And at the beginning it will be very hard, but don't worry, after a while it will become softer. And then after that you added toothpaste, you can add a little bit, just a little bit of body lotion and keep on mixing it. Also in this video I'm going to try various recipes, so if you want to see all the slimes that I'm going to make, just make sure to watch the video until the end. And let's see if you can find the secret word of the day that is hidden throughout the video. And this is the first slime with the blue tack. Thank you very much, Emi, for suggesting this recipe. For the next recipes, I'm going to make the slime without glue and without borax from the recipes from my Italian comments. That's why I'm not showing the comment, because it's in Italian. But in my next videos, I'm going to continue making the recipes from your comments, guys. I just didn't have time to film the Italian and English ones, but I still want to show you these recipes because they were very good. So for this one, you just need to use some dish soap and a little bit of shaving cream, a little bit of body lotion, and then mix it all together. You can add a little bit of foamy soap or hand soap. You need to put it in the microwave for 10 seconds, and this is how it looks like after putting it in the microwave. I decided to add a little bit of salt because it was too liquid, and then you need to put it in the freezer for around 10 to 15 minutes. Before putting it in the freezer, I decided to add a little bit more of dish soap because it was too liquid. So you can keep on adding dish soap until the consistency is dish soap and salt, until the consistency is like that. And this is the result after removing it from the freezer after 15 minutes. I'm adding just a little bit of oil in order to make it less sticky. I really like the result. It looks like a chewing gum or a giant candy. It was really nice. And now let's start with the next recipe. So for this recipe you would need some corn flour or cornstarch or regular flour, whatever you have at the moment. Four tablespoons of flour or cornstarch. Then 3 teaspoons of shower gel or shower shampoo or gel shampoo or anything that you have in gel. If you don't have anything in gel, you can use regular shampoo. You can add some food coloring if you want. The secret word of the day is crunchy slime. So if you've watched the video until now, just write in the comment crunchy slime without saying that it's the secret word of the day. After that you mix it for a while with the spoon, you need to start mixing it with your hands. Don't worry, at the beginning it will be a little bit messy, but after a while it won't be sticky anymore. So for the second recipe we have Jennifer Camarillo that is suggesting shampoo and toothpaste, and thank you so much for saying that you love my videos, Jennifer, and thank you for your recipe. So I'm doing a little bit of a variation because I don't have enough shampoo. So I'm using dish soap and toothpaste, then I'm adding a little bit of salt. As you can see, it looks like it's coming together, the slime already. I'm adding the shampoo now. You can use any shower gel or face wash. And then I'm adding a little bit of shower gel as well, so that the slime will be bigger. I'm still adding a little bit of salt. Then after mixing it for a while, you can add some baby oil as well. This will prevent the slime to be very sticky. And then you can put it in the freezer for around 15 to 20 minutes. And this is after I removed it from the freezer. I still added a little bit of salt. If you see that it's still sticky, just add a little bit of salt. And this is the final result. Thank you very much, Jennifer. It looks like a jiggly slime. It's very nice. So thank you so much, Jennifer, for this recipe. Toothpaste and how to make slime with hand wash or hand soap. If you're from US, it's hand soap, I guess. Here in Ireland and in UK is hand wash. So these slimes are without glue and without borax, Tide, what else? Contact lens solution or slime activator. So I really hope you like them. Added a little bit of toothpaste. You can add as much as you want if you want the slime to be bigger or smaller. And then I'm adding just a pinch of salt. You don't need to add too much, just a little bit. I'm adding a little bit of food colorant. It's not necessary, but if you want it to have a different color than the toothpaste, you can add a little bit of food colorant. And then I'm adding some corn flour, which is the same as corn starch, but you can also try with normal flour. So you will need to model the slime with your hands. At the beginning it will be a little bit sticky, but don't worry, you just need to wait a little bit. It's also really cheap to make. It's really easy, but you need to follow my instructions really carefully, otherwise it won't work. So for the first slime, I'm using some toothpaste. It's very important that you use a gel toothpaste. If you use a paste toothpaste, it won't work. So make sure you're using a gel toothpaste. So the second ingredient that I'm using is the Head and Shoulders shampoo. So it's not necessary to use the Head and Shoulder shampoo, but you need to use a shampoo that is really, really thick and consistent. Otherwise it won't work. So I'm just starting up with equal parts of toothpaste and shampoo, and you can start mixing them. You will need to mix them for a while, and you can add shampoo. If you see that it's too liquidy, you can add shampoo, but just add a small amount at a time. So just add a small amount, then mix it. Then if it's still very liquidy, you can still add a little bit of shampoo. It's very important that you add the shampoo in small amounts and then you mix it, otherwise it won't work. Continue mixing it until you feel that it's becoming kind of solid. So I'm adding a little bit more shampoo because it was still very liquidy. Please add me on Instagram and on Facebook as Anita Stories. I publish slime videos on Instagram and Facebook as well. So if you want, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. So this ingredient is optional, but if you want to speed up the process, use it. And it's to add a little bit of salt. You need to be really careful because you don't need to add too much salt, otherwise it will become very liquidy and it won't work. So just add a little bit of salt, and as you can see, it's starting getting solid. So what you need to do is you need to put it on the freezer for 5 to 10 minutes. I put mine on the freezer, and in the meantime I'm going to show you the second slime. So I'm using some shampoo, and it is a gel shampoo, so you absolutely need a gel shampoo, otherwise it won't work. And then I'm using the Head and Shoulders again, so you need to use again a very thick shampoo. And then I'm just mixing them. Please leave a like to this video if you're liking it so far. I would really appreciate it. And also if you can leave a comment, I would really appreciate it. And then as the first slime, you can add a little bit of shampoo, of the thick one, if you see this too liquidy, but just a little. And just be patient and continue mixing it. So I'm adding the salt now, as I said before, just a tiny little bit of salt. And after that you add salt, it will speed up the process. So as you can see, it's getting solid already. And it's starting to create this slime. But you will need to put this one as well in the freezer for 5 to 10 minutes. Now I'm doing the third one with the Head and Shoulders, so a shampoo with a thick consistency. And I'm using a shower gel. So it's very important that the shower gel is a gel, of course. So it needs to be a gel and a thick shampoo. And I have to say that this is the quickest one because it becomes solid very quickly. As you can see, it's already starting to create the slime. Adding a little bit of salt, be very careful with the salt. And then just keep mixing. Remember to leave a like if you like this video so far. And as you can see, the slime is starting to come out. It's not sticky, but you still need to put this in the freezer for 5 to 10 minutes. So I added a little bit more of shower gel because I wanted it to be a little bit bigger. Not as much as you want. It's important that the shower gel is more than the shampoo, and if you're trying it for the first time, I would suggest you to start with a small amount, and then once you understand and see how to do it, you can then do a giant one. So as you can see, the slime is almost already created. It's not sticky anymore. So I put that in the freezer for 5 to 10 minutes, and now I shampoo slime, so the one where I use the Head and Shoulder and the gel shampoo. As you can see, it's not sticky anymore. If you see that it's still sticky, just leave it in the freezer for another 5 minutes, but you will also have to play with it a little bit with your hands in order to make it not sticky anymore. And as you can see, it's really amazing and it's so fun to play with. So this one is the one where I used the toothpaste, so I'm going to show you now how it came out. So you can remove it really easily with a spoon. So as you can see, it's not sticky and it's super fun to play with. But my absolutely favorite one was the one with the shower gel and the Head and Shoulder. I absolutely love this. I'm going to show you now how it came out. I think the shower gel and Head and Shoulder option is the best one, but maybe it's also because I made it a little bit bigger, so it's even more fun to play with. So as you can see, it really looks like a glue slime, and it's super nice and super fun to play with. And if you follow my instructions carefully, it will work 100%. So you can make your own slime without any glue, without any borax, without any detergent, just with 2 ingredients. So I really hope you liked this video. Please let me know in the comments what do you think, and subscribe to my channel, and see you next time. It's with Nutella. I am Italian, so I normally pronounce this Nutella. That is the Italian name. But I know that in English you pronounce this as Nutella. Let me know in the comments how do you pronounce this and if it is correct how I'm saying it. So I just added a little bit of icing sugar. You can also add some flour or some cornstarch or corn flour. And then you have to mix it up a little bit with your hands. If you want, you can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. The name is always the same, Anita Stories. So just mix it up with your hands. Don't worry, it's a little bit messy at the beginning, but it's Nutella, so it's fine, no? And then after a while, it will become like this. It's a little bit like a dough, and it smells amazing, of course, because it's chocolate, and it's really cute and fun to play with, and actually you can also eat it if you want. And actually all the recipes in this video, you can also eat those slimes. I didn't notice it until the end of the video, but you can actually eat all of them because I'm going to use only edible ingredients. So for the second slime, I'm going to use some candies, and you can use this type of soft candies. I'm using these ones because they have minions in it, and it's so cool. So actually I thought the color would have been better, because you will now see you need to melt them in the microwave, and The color turned out to be very different. So after that you put all of them in the bowl, you can melt them in the microwave for around 15 seconds, and then you have to mix them. Be careful because they will be very hot. This is the amazing color, a sort of grain that looks like vomit or something. It's really bad. So now you have to add a little bit of flour or cornstarch or corn flour, mix them for a while, and then you need to put this in the freezer for around 15 minutes as well. Now for the other slime, you need to use some tapioca flour, and actually this flour is amazing because you can make so many slimes with this flour and just adding water, that you don't need to buy glue, borax, baking soda and all this stuff. It's very cheap, the tapioca flour, and you can make all the slimes that you want, so it's very convenient. So you just need to put a little bit of flour, tapioca flour, and a little bit of water. Just be careful to mix it very well. And then you can add a little bit of food color. Then you need to put it in the microwave for like 10 to 15 seconds. I did put mine for too long because it's kind of very hard right now. It's really weird, the consistency, because just after a couple of seconds it becomes like this. And as you can see, this is the result, but I didn't mix it very well. That's why you can see those things on the slime. So I decided to do it again, mixing it very well and putting less flour. So this is the result. I sprayed a little bit of oil so it's less sticky, and you still need to put it in the freezer because it will be very hot at the beginning. And this is the result. I really love it. It looks like clear glue a little bit, and it's super cool and super easy and cheap. So these are the candies. At the beginning it will be a little bit sticky, not really sticky, just hard to remove from the bowl. The secret word of the day is yummy slime. So if you watched the video until now, just write in the comments yummy slime, but don't say that it's the secret word of the day. So don't worry if at the beginning it will be a little bit difficult to remove from the bowl. You can spray a little bit of oil and then it will be easier. The result is super cool. As you can see, it's very stretchy and you can stretch it, and the consistency is super cool. It's a little bit harder than the normal slime, but it kind of looks like the fluffy slime. So it was still a little bit sticky, so I sprayed a little bit of oil and then it was not sticky anymore. So that's what I would suggest you to do. That is only with tapioca flour. You can find tapioca flour on Amazon. I will put the link down below in the description, and it's actually amazing because it's very cheap and you can make so many slimes with just 2 tablespoons of tapioca flour and some water. So I did a mess on my table, as always. Let me know in the comments if for you it's the same, that every time that you're making slime you make a mess on your table or wherever you're making it. So I'm adding some food color. I chose some red, and then I decided to add another color just to see what color comes out. So I'm adding a little bit of green. And let me know in the comments your recipes, your 1 ingredient slimes recipes, so that I can test them out in my next videos. So let me know in the comments. So I'm mixing the 2 colors, and then you need to put this in the microwave, just in the microwave, not in the freezer, for around 20 to 30 seconds. And at the beginning it will be very hot. When it's still hot, it is still sticky, but once it cools down, it won't be sticky anymore. So just let it cool down for a while. You can even put it in the freezer for a while. I really love the results, especially because tapioca flour is cheap, and with just 2 tablespoons you can make slime. You can make a lot of slimes without using glue, borax, contact lens solution and all that other ingredients. So for the second recipe I'm just using some blue tack. You can use any blue tack that you have, and You can just put it in the microwave for around 30 seconds. It will become very soft and stretchy. And this is the result. It's super easy. So let me know in the comments your one ingredient slime recipes so that I can try them, and remember to subscribe and activate the notifications, and thanks so much for watching.